is how to remove and replace the rear view mirror on your 4th gen Maxima. Removal is pretty easy. It just pops right off, and you want to make sure you still have this rubber piece right here. If your rear view mirror likes to bounce around a lot when you're on the road, chances are you're missing that little piece right there. It goes on the post on the back side of the rear view mirror. Rubber piece with a little hole in it, slips on there and presses against the glass. And I found that helps a lot to reduce the vibration of the mirror itself. And chances are, if your rear view mirror has ever been off or your windshield's ever been replaced, and that piece is going to be missing. And it was on this car. Actually, most Maximas I've seen haven't had one. I'm not really sure if they were using all models or not, but I don't know. Once you've gotten it off, you'll notice it comes off really easily, but you can't just snap it right back in. Problem is, there's a little retaining clip up in here, and this large screw right here is beveled such that it pulls off, likely to keep it from breaking in the event of an accident or in case someone pulls on it or whatever. But it's got a flat top edge, so it can't just slide right back in. So what you're going to need to do is a Phillips head screwdriver. There's 3 screws that hold this piece on right here. Take these 3 screws out. 2 on the forward edge, and there should be 1 back here, but well, mine's missing, so it seems to hold just fine. So you pull that off, and then we'll go ahead and reassemble the rear view mirror off of the car, and then we can just slap it right back in place. Alright, now we have our rear view mirror. Notice you don't need to take the trim piece off. You can just pull the rear view mirror right off, or if it's come off on its own or someone's pulled on it, whatever, the trim piece will still be on there. So all you need to do is just grab one end, and that slides right off. Now we also have the piece that we took that was mounted to the roof that we took off, and you can see here it's just a little kind of clip, just slides in place like that. And this is the screw I was talking about on the back side of the rear view mirror. You can see how it's got that bevel to it, which allows it to slide right out. It sits like this, and this retaining spring is supposed to go underneath the bevel of that screw. So what you need to do here is take a Phillips head screwdriver, pull this screw right out, place this mounting plate on top of the rearview mirror, and put the screw right back in. And just tighten it down until it stops. And you can see how that spring is caught underneath that screw right there. And it does give it some flex. Can't really do it by hand when it's not mounted in the car. But it does give it some flex, and then instead of breaking this assembly, it'll just come free. The spring will expand because of the bevel on that screw head, and the rearview mirror assembly comes off, like I showed you when I pulled it off. Now to reinstall it, all you really need to do is just put this up, take your screws, run them back into the roof, put the Phillips head screwdriver, and when you're done with that, you just slap that trim piece back on, and then put in your little rubber piece, that little isolator dealie right there. See what I was talking about? It's got that end, and it's got a hole in this end, and it slips right on to that post and puts pressure against the windshield, so this isn't just kind of free floating there. Now to reinstall it, just take your screws, rearview mirror up in place, screw it, get it started so it hangs up there by itself. And like I said, you should have 3 screws here. I don't know what the hell happened to my 3rd one, but these front 2 hold it just fine, really. Screw that in place. Put your little trim piece back on there, and don't forget that rubber plug I was mentioning. You can just stick it on and slide it around back there, and then you are done removing and replacing the rear view mirror in your 4th gen Maxima.